everybody, welcome back to the horror show. I'm Marsha Parker.
I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Ian Fuego here.
Luis Hernandez.
Derek Heron.
And we're here in a pretty badass location, you guys, to bring you this review that is hot off the presses and for a movie that isn't even out yet, technically. We are here at the local Alamo Drafthouse here in Arizona. The first of hopefully 2 locations, the second one opening up in just a few months, we've been told. So
wow.
That's exciting. But yeah, we got to come here for the very first time. I've heard loads of stories about Alamo Drafthouse from Texas and all kinds of great stuff. So it was exciting to be able to come for the first time. And not only did we get to do that, but we got to do it with a fresh movie out of the A24 film company. Now, A24 has done some interesting stuff, and this is definitely no different. Now, interesting as far as they try different things. I'll say that much. Now, we're going to do this as we normally do. We're going to talk about the story, we're going to talk about the acting, we're going to talk about anything else that's pertinent. But first off, we're going to give our overall impressions. So, Marsha, why don't you start us off?
I like how it started, and I feel it's so funny because usually in these movies, I feel like there's no third act. I kind of feel like there is no second act.
That's fair.
Okay.
Which is different. It is a different way to
Just
do
got
that.
to it.
Just like, here's the character development, and here's the end. Oh, okay, cool.
They thought there was 20 more minutes of movie.
I did appreciate that it was only 90 minutes. So
Yeah. Well, 97, I think, technically. Is
I
what it came
timed
out to.
it.
Oh, you were. Okay. So overall, for me, I thought, unfortunately, my first inclinations after the first trailer ended up being spot on, which was it was going to be a very slow, plodding movie, and I was hoping for some excitement to break up the monotony, and unfortunately I did not get it. Now, that's not to say it was a bad movie in my estimation. It was a very well-made movie, and there's going to be loads of people that love it, but it's going to be those purists that, or there's purists, or some might call them snobs, that love it for just because it's different and it's slow and it's completely bleak. So there's going to be lovers of that, but overall, it made for a rough sit as far as, this is going to be, to me, it was an hour-and-a-half long expansion on something that they've done, a meditation that they've done in The Walking Dead so many times at this point. And that was a problem for me because I felt like I'd seen it all before and played out many different ways than this at this point. So that's my long way of saying meh.
Yeah, okay. I can kind of feel you on that. I was getting lots of The Road, lots of The Walking Dead and stuff like that. It was a character study at the end of the day, and just almost a bunker movie, like The Witch, which I know you despised so very much. I thought that this was on par with The Witch as far as like interesting in a different setting goes. You know,
I can agree.
Yeah, fantastic performances, beautifully shot. A24 does not go for low budget crap, you know. They always go for the more artistically shot and interestingly conceived, but I can't say I loved it, but it was still intriguing and worth seeing. So, yeah.
I liked it, and I'll tell you why.
You didn't say loved it, though.
I didn't love it, of course. I didn't love it. Not to spoil anything, but the ending definitely was like head scratcher. But the thing about A24 is their thing should be looks are deceiving. They make movies, genre pictures that you know, when you watch the trailers, you're like, oh, it's this and that, but it's not. It's what ifs. It's about like, what if you, as a person, were in a situation like that? Like you said, the Walking Dead stuff, I totally agree, but this did it way better. This felt more realistic. The paranoia felt real. The acting in it was great. I'm not even gonna lie, I teared up at one scene.
Same.
I had tears in my eyes. It was well acted. The ending, again, not what I was expecting, but the journey was amazing. And I don't know, A24, like they don't make movies that you expect. So that's my 2 cents.
Dirk?
Cool.
Well, I guess you're calling me a snob, Cecil, because I really enjoyed this movie.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm with Lou, man. I thought that it just, you know, it did have that Walking Dead feel, but I thought it was just done so much better. I thought the character development was great. I don't know. I even like the ending. It's like I'm not
bleak.
without spoiling anything. It felt real. Like
Yeah.
it got to the point in the movie where like that's what was gonna happen.
Yep.
You know, like and they couldn't do anything
I mean,
more. You know, so
it had a lot of layers, man. Like I was telling you, it's a wet dream in a post-apocalyptic setting. Like, that's what it was. It was
Truly.
like, what if? I don't know. It just like the reactions and the way everyone. I don't know. It just felt like, yeah, this is what would happen. It's real life.
And the violence too
Yeah.
was just like, there was so much tension
Well
that built
sprinkled.
up,
Yeah.
and it was just it felt like you felt those hits when they were giving them.
So segueing into story then, just real quickly, it revolves around this group who ends up being a family, a father, a mother, and a son that have boarded themselves up in their house, and they purposefully don't go out if they can possibly help it, in some sort of, we would assume, post-apocalyptic setting. Now, it's never really explained whether it's worldwide or county-wide. We don't really know, but one would assume.
They do mention it.
Well, a little
people started getting sick in the city, and that's why people were going out.
Okay, that's
rural
right, yeah.
Areas.
Now we don't know where it's at, which I thought was interesting. They
Right.
never give you a specific location.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of cool.
And I was actually trying to look at the
be
license
any-
plate on the truck too. At one point, I was like, "Where are they? Where are they?" And I just couldn't pinpoint.
I didn't
So
really care that much.
I didn't either, but anyway, so
we have the segregation going on here.
this family is just basically trying to watch out for themselves and make it through this time, when suddenly one night a stranger breaks in and manages to convince them that he's got a family of his own he's trying to help survive, and he tries to convince this family to let him bring them, and help partake of their food and water and what have you. And so they do, and then the movie is just what happens from there.
Yep.
And it's as simple as that, quite frankly. And to go any deeper might be, a bit of a spoiler. It's just that they're in this world, and you can get sick if you're not careful. And that's that. I mean, there's a specific door that they try and keep closed, and this kid that has all these dreams, the 17-year-old boy.
How old are you?
Seems to sleepwalk
17.
or whatever, but not really. He just keeps having these weird dreams. So that's basically how it goes. And it's how do the relationships evolve or devolve, depending on where the movie goes. I don't want to spoil anything, but that's essentially the long and short of it. So I thought it was simple but effective. I mean, it didn't need to be longer than it was, so it worked out for the length.
I just didn't care about any of the characters.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, so cool.
I just
Wow.
maybe
surprised.
maybe because to me like
They were so much more fleshed out than like
Yeah.
Walking Dead characters.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I didn't care about them. I was like,
I disagree with you guys on that.
I
They weren't fleshed out at all.
Look,
we
no,
didn't know
I-
anything
I-
about
They
them
were-
other
they
than their
were
current
staple,
scenario.
Staple mom,
No,
staple
no,
dad.
no.
The
This is
only
what it was.
person the only person that had any bit of depth would have been the son. Everybody
Travis.
else is like
Well,
skin
that's
deep.
Just protective
That's
parents,
the
yeah.
thing, though. That's the story. The story is like, here you have
This
two
could be
families.
you.
You have a mother, father, and two kids, right?
Yeah, and they have
but you
the
have the
same, like, quota.
17-year-old. What you have, like I said earlier, it's a wet-driven post-apocalyptic world. It's like this kid trying to be a man in a weird way, was and this happening, and then like his ethics, like should we treat them like this? Should we do this? Like he was sympathetic. That scene in the attic when the family's laughing and he starts laughing, like you knew right there, like he was searching for something more. That's what he wanted.
Well,
it was
and
really
also-
about Travis.
Yeah, and
The
also
movie's
he was
about Travis.
experiencing like feelings that his family wasn't.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Like they were happy. He was feeling sexual feelings. Like it was, yeah, dude. It's A24. It's all I can say. A24 is like you don't expect what you're shown in the trailers. Like it's so deeper than what they showed.
I expected a horror movie. I didn't get one.
And
Yeah,
it's
no,
so
it
funny
was
that it's
like-
called
it
It Comes
was-
at Night because
We're getting back to that. No, it was a brooding, dramatic thriller, though. It
Yeah.
was not horror. That
But
I'll
I
agree
think that
with.
is
Nothing
horror.
came
I
at
think
night.
that is horror.
There was an older lady that sat right next to me, and she jumped like multiple times.
Well, yeah, they
there
had
was
jump
there were
scenes.
scares.
There were
We're all
scares in it.
desensitized.
There was
so-
scares,
There
but
was
so-
like
I think
And
jump
I was
loud
getting,
noises.
I was cracking up just seeing her jump.
Yeah.
you know?
Some,
But I
some
want-
might consider it a degree of body horror, so I think there's
I mean, I think it was
Yeah,
horror,
maybe.
but like again,
enough for us to cover it anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
A24 horror films are not really about the threat. It's about the people that are being threatened and their reactions and how they deal with it.
And I think
that's
that's
all
great.
A24 horror
And I think that's why I
movies
don't
are.
like their
Well, I mean,
movies.
even
That's why I
Green
like- and
Room
that's
was
why I
about
like it.
that.
It's not-
yeah,
Monster. The monster is not about the monster. It's about,
the character interactions
Exactly.
within the
and I think that's
peril.
horror, man. I think that paranoia, that fear, that kind of like you don't want to be this person, but because of situation, circumstance, you are turned into that beast, that monster. So
I don't know. I guess they don't give enough situation for me to like care.
you have to
Yeah.
dive deep.
There's
Like,
not enough of a there
no.
wasn't
Like, the
enough of a
whole-
threat for me to have any investment.
Like yeah, okay. you
paranoia
can-
I
is
thought
the
the
threat.
threat. Yeah, I
I-
thought the
but
threat
I
was
also-
the
well,
threat.
again,
like
keep in
they
mind,
start
I'm-
out with
the
like
threat
a,
of like
threatening-
turning and dying.
Yeah,
I mean,
Not to give enough away, but the Travis, like he witnessed 3 things in beats. It was like the beginning opens up with what happened, then there's the pet, and then there's what happens after. You know, and he is the one that is like seeing this. He's the one who evolves. And
he is the most observant in a
Yep.
lot of ways. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good call. Huh.
Not enough.
Dirk, I know you had some stuff you were trying to chat
But that's the
about.
yeah, all the characters need to evolve, not just one.
But I mean, it depends on who you're focusing on. It depends on who is the main character, and I think Travis was the main character.
I think that since it was the story was based around Travis, you could kind of tell that like his parents were like just caught up in paranoia, you know,
And
and
pretty
so they weren't
unsympathetic,
enjoying
too.
life anymore,
Yeah.
and so that's why he was really connected with the other family. And so I think that he was vicariously trying to live through them.
Totally.
You know, and it comes down to morality. That's what the whole movie is about. So.
No, I agree. And there's another character I could liken him to, but that would be too spoilerific if I did. So
So then characters, should we go to acting?
yeah. I mean, we've already touched on a lot of it. I thought Joel Edgerton knocked it out of the park,
He
though,
was great,
specifically.
man.
I mean, the kid,
Yeah.
did great too, but. And actually, this is a very Shane-like other guy. And
Yeah,
I got
right?
a Shane
I was
vibe
like-
from
He even
him.
kind of looked like him.
Roberto,
Yeah,
where
Shane.
are you?
Was he equally hot?
Christopher Abbott is his name. He's on Girls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't like him on
HBO
Girls.
show?
You didn't?
I didn't like him on Girls, but watching him in this, and I saw him in another movie, I was
He
like,
was
man,
the Will guy.
yeah, I was like, this guy has some acting chops. Like,
Yeah.
I really liked him, and whoever played his wife in it, I thought she was, for the few moments you saw her.
Well, yeah, that one scene with her and Travis. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought it was well acted. Everyone in that movie was great,
Yeah, I thought so too.
and the lighting. I think the use of
Well, we'll get to it.
Sorry.
Actor.
I thought the kids did great. You know, that there's those moments in the movie where like they can't remember what they did, and like if you question a child, especially in like a tense situation like that, they don't have an answer.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
the look in
they're
that
just
kid's
scared.
eyes was legitimate. Like
Yeah.
you could tell just just had no idea what was
And
going
I
on.
thought
yeah.
Travis was phenomenal. Like even though he was making so many mistakes,
I'm very obviously not 17, but yeah.
but but you know, I have a 16-year-old stepson, and like I totally, you know, saw him in that character. So.
Well, then let's move on to the cinematography and the lighting, because that was gorgeous. Never had a problem with the cinematography. It was presented beautifully, both with just the technique, the range of shots from wide shots to close-ups to wide angle close-ups, all kinds of good stuff that told the story very well.
Always with A24, man. I
Yeah.
mean, all their films are beautifully shot.
But yeah, I mean, so that was nice. It was fun to look at, and the lighting was
trying
beautiful.
here.
Like the lighting was really nice too. But yeah, it just still a slog for me.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job putting the movie together. The cinematography, the sound design, the acting, it all came together. It just, I'm really sorry. I just like movies with 3 acts, and if they could give me one, that would be great.
I actually
I'd be
feel
looking
like
forward to that.
if this was a 10-episode series, Marcia would have liked it. As opposed to
That would have been way too.
Oh my god.
really, I mean, because
No,
she
there's
wanted more
no-
development, right? And-
There's
No, she wanted more story, not
Yeah,
more
well,
characters.
you wanted-
But wouldn't,
you
but
wanted
wouldn't we
that
get
threat.
more
You wanted to
story
know
with
what
10
the
episodes? I mean,
threat
I wanted to
was.
know what was supposed
Exactly.
to come at night.
And
Yeah.
here's the thing.
I was
don't-
intrigued
nothing.
about that too.
Well,
mean-
I disagree. Something
Paranoia
did
comes
come.
at night.
Yes.
Fear comes at night.
Yeah.
The sun-
Dreams come at night.
Dreams come at insomnia comes at night.
Yes.
That's what comes at
And
night.
Not
something
enough.
does come at night and screws everything up for
Yeah.
them. So.
Yeah.
So-
I do feel very much in the middle about this because I liked it, but I don't think I liked it as much as these guys. But I didn't hate it as much as these guys.
I didn't hate it. I just thought that
I didn't
was,
hate it either. Yeah.
It was unfinished and it left it too.
It was an
open.
art house film.
Yeah,
Underwhelming.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't my cup of tea, as it were.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I keep giving A24 a chance to impress me, and it just like
you're
every
just not.
time I'm
See,
like,
I'm always
Sometimes it does for me, and
impressed.
sometimes it doesn't for me. So I can't help it. I loved Green Room, hated The Witch.
Monster, you liked?
Loved The Monster.
Yeah.
Not a fan of this, but again, a lot of these really slow plotting horror movies, are just tough for me because I get what they're going for, but it's just not the horror that works for me. It's just not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Film's
like
subjective.
found footage doesn't work for a lot of people, but I love it.
Yeah.
Like, it's to each their own. Don't hate on any one of us for any particular reason. It's just not for me. That's
Yeah.
all it is. And if it seems like your tastes are aligned with mine, then there you go. If your tastes are more aligned with Dirk Luis or kind of Fuego, then
kind of
maybe, well, because he's in the middle on this.
Yeah,
so.
I am.
So-
And yet Marcia's excited about a ghost story, which just blows my mind.
Yeah, but that
That's
looks like an
different.
actual
There is a
story.
threat.
that doesn't
That's-
look like horror at all, though.
Yeah,
No, but it
they
looks
already
like an
showed
actual
that there is
story.
a villain in it, so
And there's a,
Is there?
yeah,
they showed way more of the story in
They
that.
showed either a shadowy creature type thing.
See,
That was the good guy, I thought,
I
in
think
the
you're gonna
trailer.
go into. I think you're
well-
gonna go into that movie. Cinematography, the use of the way they use the lanterns and the flashlights,
Yes.
the camera, the way the camera moved, I thought was very fluid. The depth of field, I think it was a very smooth film, and the cuts were really, just nice. The sound design, the music was really
Built-
tense, built up the whole
Yeah,
time.
slow and brooding
Yeah.
and very much of the tone of the
Yeah.
film in a lot of ways.
So I liked it. I mean, I like this movie. Can't agree with the ending. Can't justify it, but I like it.
I agree with the ending, actually.
I thought the ending fit the film. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike the ending any more than the rest of the movie. I didn't like the ending any more than the rest of the movie. I thought it fit the film.
See, I was laughing once it ended because I had a feeling that's how it was gonna end.
Well, there was something that happened at the same time. Fuego and I both at the same time were because I didn't say it out loud, but I thought they were going to end it at a particular point.
Same here, yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
like, well,
you
that
heard
would be
me.
unsatisfying. And then it ended the way it did, and I was like, well, that was still unsatisfying.
Yeah, exactly. It was like we got another couple shots and then it ended anyway,
Yeah.
and it wasn't too much different. We were just like, yeah, okay.
But and lastly, let's just hit on the effects. There was a little bit.
Yeah.
The little bit looked okay.
I-
I mean.
I thought the makeup jobs were.
Yeah,
The
the
makeup was good.
the makeup and the little bit of black sludge you get in the trailer is about all you get.
Yeah, there's not
So don't
like
go
a
in
lot of-
expecting a lot more of that.
Yeah, not
But
lots of
I
infected
even
people.
I even thought when they got injured, you could see just the
bruises.
Like some of the
the
blood.
bruises and the brutality. So
Yeah, it was definitely done well as far as the little bit that we got.
But not the emphasis. It's once again, like Lou was saying, all about the conflict within the characters and the bunker mentality of who's infected, what's going on, and so on and so forth, and how everybody handles that.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. That's going to do it for our early review of It Comes at Night. Healthy cross section here. We've got the gamuts, the sliding rule here of not so great all the way over to really loved it. I think we're in the exact right order too.
I think Dirk liked it the most.
Well, that's
I
what I'm
did.
saying. Yeah, from least to most, we got it just exactly right. So, special thanks to Alamo Drafthouse for not only setting up this screening for us to do, but allowing us to come in and film our review inside, all old school Siskel and Ebert style. I know a bunch of us watched that growing up, so it feels pretty cool to be able to do do that. So make sure you support Alamo Drafthouse if you're here in Texas or anywhere else they might be. And thanks very much for watching, you guys. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Marshberger.
Gracias, I've been having fuego.
Luis Hernandez.
Dirk Aaron.
And remember,
Stay
stay scared.